Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday, February 25th, 2015 meeting of the Merrimack Zoning Board of Adjustment. And our next meeting will be, let's see this on here, what's the next meeting? March 25th. So it's way down at the bottom this time. And Rich, will you lead the Pledge of Allegiance?
Happily.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Lynn, would you read the preamble, please? The preamble? Didn't we give you a copy last meeting? Do you have a copy? It's going to break the end. Yes, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For the benefit of those who have not attended these hearings, the procedure is as follows. The petitions will be heard in the order that they're posted in the legal notice. However, the chairman may change the order with consent of the board to expedite the public hearing as appropriate. We allow each petitioner to state why his or her petition should be granted. Following the petitioner's statement, any abutter or interested party is allowed to speak for or against the petition. In the interest of getting all the facts, we will go around a second time. The board may elicit testimony at any point, but we cannot allow cross-discussion. All questions must be directed to the board. Also, we ask that you do not repeat yourself or your neighbor's testimony. If you wish to just indicate concurrence, please do so. After hearing all the facts regarding a petition, the chairman will close the public hearing and the board will deliberate and vote on the petition before moving on to the next petition. The zoning board is empowered to legalize the breaking of the town's zoning ordinance, and this is not done lightly. The state law and local ordinances set out in the criteria that must be met in order for this board to grant your petition. I remind you that it is your responsibility to prove your case so that this board has justification for granting the petition. The minimum requirements are listed in the form you received from the Community Development Office, and it would be helpful if you would proceed on that basis. Please turn off all cell phones. Would allow people who plan to testify, please stand to be sworn in.
And you can swear 'em in.
I don't think so.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
We will now hear the first petition.
You can keep that.
All right, the first petition is Stephen and Eileen Prevost. Petitioners and Jonathan and Shayla Anderson owners. A special exception under the section 2.02.1 B2 of the zoning ordinance to permit an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU, at the residential and aquifer conservation districts located at 3 French Court, tax map 6B, lot 087-070, case 2015-07. And who would like to speak on this? And you are Eileen? All right, Eileen, would you start with your points of law that you filled out here in your own handwriting, please? That is the special exception for the
It should be a green light.
yeah, bright green. Okay, and after each number, we're going to stop, and if we have any questions, we'll ask you, okay? Yeah, why don't you pull it a little closer to you?
Eileen, pull it closer and raise it up so that you're speaking into it closely.
Is it bright green, real bright green? No,
No.
try it again, hit again.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
Number 1. The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use or uses in terms of overall community development because it is a residential neighborhood and would be appropriate and will add to the value of the property and the neighborhood.
All right, go ahead.
Number 2, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood and shall produce no diminution of real estate values in the neighboring area because the value of the property will be increased and the size of the home will be more in line with the ones currently in the area.
Okay.
Number 3, there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians because the proposed ADU will not exceed appropriate lot boundaries or increase traffic or present any hazards to pedestrians. Cars will be parked in garages or driveway, not on the street. Number 4, that an adequate parking area is provided for motor vehicles on the premises because adequate parking is available for motor vehicles of the residents of the existing dwelling, and the proposed ADU includes a 2-car garage for vehicles.
All right.
Number 5, the ADU is contained within or will be in addition to an existing or proposed single-family detached dwelling. The ADU will be in addition to an existing single-family dwelling with direct access from the dining room of the existing single-family dwelling into the ADU. Number 6, the ADU contains no more than 1 bedroom. Yes, only 1 bedroom is planned.
All right, go ahead.
7, the ADU does not exceed 1,000 square feet in area or 50% of the area of heated living space within the principal dwelling unit in area, whichever is smaller. The ADU does not exceed 1,000 square feet, proposed is 924, and the heated living space within the principal dwelling unit is 851 square feet, so the ADU is less than 50% of the area. Number 8, the ADU is connected internally to the principal dwelling unit. Yes, the ADU will connect internally to the principal dwelling unit via the dining room with glass doors.
All right, go ahead.
Number 9, the ADU occupancy is to be restricted to family members only, with the term family defined as individuals related by blood, marriage, or adoption to the fee simple owner occupants of the principal dwelling unit. Yes, Shayla's parents, Stephen and Eileen Prevost, will be the occupants of the ADU.
And the last one?
Number 10, the ADU is designed to remain functionally dependent on the principal dwelling unit and will not have provisions for separate utilities, garages, driveways, yard, and other simple amenities. The ADU will remain dependent on the principal dwelling unit by sharing the utilities, driveways, garages, yard, deck areas, etc.
Okay, thank you.
I
Any-
actually have a question on 10.
Go ahead.
So in looking at the plans, it actually looks like is this a second, you're putting a garage under the ADU?
Yes,
Because
a
it looks like
2-car.
there's 2-car garages, so it will have its own independent garage.
Yes, but Shayla or John will be using the new garage as well.
It'll be a shared use, yeah.
They only have 1 parking in the other garage.
Okay.
Any further questions from the board? All right, I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to testify in favor of this? Anyone who'd like to testify against it? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Could I hear a motion, please?
Actually, I have another
One more
question.
question, go ahead.
So the garage, and again, the stairway comes up. I see the existing dining room, and I see the doorway, and there seems to be like a little entryway with storage. Those stairs, do they come up in the second garage? Do they come up into the ADU, or do they come up into the house? Because you said the entrance into the ADU is in the dining room.
They technically come up
It
into both.
crosses over.
Both use that as an access from the garage into the home.
So that entryway is so the entryway into the actual getting into the ADU is not the dining room, it's the entryway off the dining room where the stairs
Yeah,
come
yes. It's connected through the dining room. You could access it by coming through the dining room or by coming in through the garage
Okay.
and up the stairway.
All right. Okay, I just want to make sure that that's in line
That-
with what the,
Okay.
okay, cool, thank you.
Bonnie? Lynn? All right, could I hear a motion, please? Wait a
Just
minute.
one comment, the issue of the dam has been resolved by the revised plan.
Right.
So that's a moot issue at this point.
That's correct, yeah.
Motion to approve Stephen and Ellen Provost petitioners and Jonathan and Shayla Anderson owners, the special exception under section 2.02.1B2 of the zoning ordinance to permit an accessory dwelling unit ADU in the residential and aquifer conservation districts located at 3 French Court, tax map 6B, lot 087-070, case number 2015-07, with the staff recommendations. 1, execution of declaration of covenants for the accessory dwelling unit. The form is will be provided to you by staff. Since the applicant is creating an additional driveway and curb cut, a right-of-way permit is required by the Public Works.
We're not
There's
creating an
no
additional
curb
driveway.
cut. I apologize that we didn't
Okay.
include that in the original plan.
We
I
didn't,
did a quick sketch to show you what our intent was for the driveway. If you've got French Court here,
Yeah.
this is our existing driveway now.
Yep.
And we were planning on just Y-ing or making a fork off of that over, so we're still using one.
Okay, all right. So then scratch that one. And then the third one, payment of the Hillsborough County Registry of Deeds recording fee for recording of the declaration of covenants and accessory dwelling unit.
yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any against? 500.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I have to do it today. 30, within 30 days, someone can come back and appeal. So if you begin construction now, you'd kind of do it at your own risk, just so you know.
Too much snow right now.
Yeah. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Hey, we got another storm coming. Was it next week? Excuse me, did you sign in on the sheet right there? I forgot to ask you.
Both of us?
Yes, please.
I looked at it when we first sat down and thought I have to sign that.
Somebody's got to be technical.
You'll be able to read mine.
Isn't it that always that way with the husband and wife? They always read the wife's handwriting.
That's my pen.
That's your pen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. All right, the next item on the agenda is Nelson R. Disco Family Trust. Petitioner owner, variance under section 3.02 of the zoning ordinance to permit the construction of a single-family home on a lot with 84,927 square feet, whereas 100 square feet is required, and 100 foot of frontage, whereas 250 feet is required. The parcel is located at 38 Wilson Hill Road in the R1 Residential and Aquifer Conservation Districts, tax map 4B, lot 095, in case number 2015-08.
Fran, while I don't believe I actually have a conflict of interest with this petitioner, because Nelson and I both sit on the planning board, I am going to recuse myself just to eliminate any sense of bias on my part.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Zina, you have that? Lenny? All right, Nelson, since we only have 4 people on the board at this point to vote on your petition, do you still want to proceed, or do you want to wait to the next meeting?
I'd like to proceed, Madam Chairman. I think I have a
reasonable case here, and I think we have reasonable people on the board, and I'm willing to go ahead.
Okay. All right, and Nelson, if you would, please start with your points of law that you filled out. I
Okay.
think you've written C attached to each one of them.
Well, yes, I would like to go over them just one more time for you. I hope that, I have amended slightly, there's a couple of typos in the material that was given to you. If you want a fresh copy, I have
No,
those.
we can overlook that.
Okay,
And if you would start with number 1.
okay.
And if you want, then we can get into the background, but we'd like to go through the points of law first.
Rather than the history of how
Right,
we got here.
that's correct.
That can be done. Do you all have a copy of this little map?
Yes.
Because this is helpful to get oriented as to where we are. Then if you wish, I will begin with the points of law, although the history is important, I think, in establishing how we got to this position. However, the first point being granting the variance would not be contrary to the public interest. The lot located at 38 Wilson Hill Road is zoned for residential use in accordance with Section 302A of the zoning ordinance, as voted by the citizens of Merrimack. There are no other uses permitted in this zone other than residential. This lot, if approved, is larger than many of the other lots to the east in the neighborhood, and it would be intended for residential use. This is a generally quiet, rural residential neighborhood, and allowing another residence in this neighborhood on a lot which is only slightly undersized, 84,927 square feet versus 100,000 square feet, and with a shortage of road frontage, is in keeping with the public interest. The next point you ask to address is that the spirit of the ordinance is observed.
All right, just let me
Oh.
make sure no one has any
Oh,
questions
okay,
here.
I'll
Any
stop here.
questions at all? Go ahead, Nelson.
Everybody okay? Yeah. Okay. The spirit of the ordinance is observed because the spirit of the ordinance, as quoted in the ordinance, is to promote the health, safety, convenience, and general welfare of the town of Merrimack, and to make it an attractive place to live. The use of this lot as a building lot for a single-family home is very much in keeping with this spirit. Due to the shape of the lot, the home will be built at least 125 feet back from the road, in keeping with the rural atmosphere of the neighborhood, thereby upholding the spirit of the ordinance.
Questions? Go ahead, Nelson.
Questions? Granting the variance would do substantial justice because the owner purchased this lot in an approved subdivision with the expectation that it would become a building lot when Horseshoe Lane and Disco Lane was constructed. It was part of a subdivision. This expectation was extirpated when the road frontage on Horseshoe and Disco Lane was discontinued in 1998 by the Board of Selectmen. As mitigation for this loss, the owner purchased an additional acre of land, which was added to the lot, which was originally a 1-acre lot, and now it's 84,000 square feet. Further note that the property has been assessed and taxed by the town of Merrimack for many years, as if it were a buildable residential lot. The assessed value of the lot today is $128,700. Justice would require that this lot be used as a residential building lot, and it should not be denied, given that it's been considered such by the town of Merrimack. Question? Question? For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties will not be diminished. The proposed building lot will be set back at least 125 feet from Wilson Hill Road due to the shape of the lot, whereas other nearby buildings are located much closer to the road, 50 to 60 feet. The lot size at 84,925 square feet exceeds the lot size of one of the abutting lots and several other lots in the neighborhood. The addition of one residence on this lot will not diminish the value of surrounding properties. Questions? No. Unnecessary hardship owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because the fact that this property with frontage on Wilson Hill Road is located at a curve on the road, bending away from the property, this will necessitate a shorter frontage on the road in order to make full use of the land adjacent to the existing road. You understand it's on the outside of a curve, so the frontage, when other lots are perpendicular, other lot lines are perpendicular to the road, this makes a pie-shaped lot, or almost pie-shaped. Question? No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property, because it is still intended to use the land residentially as zoned. The lot size is commensurate with other lots in the neighborhood. And the proposed use is a reasonable one because the town ordinance allows only residential use of this property, and obtaining the required frontage and area to conform to the letter of the ordinance is not possible without harm to neighboring residential properties. Allowing the use of this lot as residential building lot will create no new curb cuts on Wilson Hill Road.
I think you've answered, he doesn't have to go on to D.
Okay.
You've answered everything. All right, does the committee have any questions, remarks, suggestions?
I guess I have a question, and that's just that this would have been a different situation had the other road been completed. Is that what you were stating?
Yes.
So
It would then have frontage on the other road if it had been built. It was originally laid out to have frontage on that road that's now discontinued.
So was this property acquired before that event?
Yes, this lot was acquired when the road was in place. It was a legal lot at the time. It was a 1 acre lot at that time. In 1972 is when that adjacent subdivision was built. And at that time, 1 acre was the proper size in this whole area. So it was all developed as 1 acre lots. But I purchased that lot that was right adjacent to me. Some of the other lots were developed, and others were never developed because the developer never finished the job. He never built the road. And the lots that he did build had frontage on Wilson Hill Road, so he didn't need to build the road. He needed them for other lots in the back. But he, for whatever reason, did not finish it, and he sold the property to the present owner.
Okay, all right, that makes
And
sense.
then it was discontinued after that. Okay, then the roads were discontinued under the present owner.
Okay.
Okay.
Patrick, you got a question? No. Lenny? It was a long time ago, huh, Nelson?
It was. It's been 43 years. We've owned that lot and paid taxes on it. So it seems proper to allow it to be used for residential purposes.
All right, I'm going to open the public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to testify for this? For or against? All right. Nelson, would you like to?
Am I on?
You're on.
For the record, my name is Bob McCabe. Again, for the record, my name is Bob McCabe. I live at 30A Wilson Hill, Lot 4B89. I'm a direct abutter to Nelson's property. I did review the application the other day at downstairs. There were a few chronological date errors, which I spoke of to Jillian, but that doesn't matter at this point. My concern is the Discos want to have the driveway come out onto a paper road, a discontinued paper road, a Disco Lane. which would be fine if in the end run, there's only one house built there. My question to the board is, if Nelson sells that lot and the rest of his property, a developer comes in, takes that driveway that comes out on discontinued Disco Lane and turns it into a subdivision, is that possible in this town?
That's something that we can't even consider. We have to, what this board has to consider is here and now. We can't vote on something that might or might not happen in the future.
Who else can ask these questions to before you take a vote?
I don't think that's possible.
No, we can't consider what's going to happen in the future.
I'm not against Nelson selling that property, that one lot, and building one house. That's not the problem here. What we're worried about is having a very nice backyard for 40-something years, both of us, and having a subdivision thrown in at us unexpectedly, without us speaking up.
That happens, no offense, but that happens all the time. That happens all the time.
I mean,
What you own is what you can build on. If someone buys a property behind you and decides to put a house right up against your property line, as long as it fits within our zoning laws, we don't even see it.
Back in 1985, Disco Lane and Horseshoe Road were discontinued. My property was consolidated to one lot because most of us didn't want any more neighbors. We had a beautiful piece of land. And now you're telling me I can't defend that anyway?
no, we're not. No. In no way do we say you can't defend it.
Then-
But you're asking us. I mean, if you want to play hypotheticals. Hypothetically, could somebody buy 5B, 218, 219, and 4B, 294 on the map here, and could they throw a subdivision there? If you're going to ask hypotheticals, yes, hypothetically, somebody could do that. But I mean, I can't. I mean, we can honestly could be here all night talking about hypothetically what people could and could not do. I can't say for a fact, or no one on the board could say for the fact that that could or could not happen. Quite honestly, that actually putting in a subdivision like that'd probably be that's more planning board, unless there was some sort of zoning that had to be involved with it. That would be more on the planning board side of things, as far as putting that in there. And that goes for anybody. That goes for anybody in Merrimack. Hypothetically, a subdivision could be put in potentially anywhere in Merrimack. Hypothetically, I mean, if you want to talk to that side. So it's not a matter of you can't defend your property and your land and all of that. It's just, I can't speak for what may or may not happen a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now in Merrimack.
So my interest could not be even approached at this point.
Well, it's not the I guess.
My
Well,
concerns.
let me ask you this: what would you want us to what would you want us to say? Because I can't. Somebody comes and takes that property, they build a house there, then you have one more neighbor. If somebody subdivides that lot, I don't really see how they could.
If permission is granted to put one building lot there with one curb cut on Disco Lane, my underground utilities are buried under that right of way. The developer comes in, expands that, makes it a master roadway for 3 or 4 house lots. It's totally changed environment.
Again, you're talking hypothetical, and there's unfortunately we can't comment on that.
Have any of you visited the site?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think that if somebody gets a house in there, you got a nice piece of land. You got a lot of quiet around
Do you know what the
and it's
total
nice
frontage is on Wilson Hill?
What?
The total frontage. Did you give a master plan?
Did I get your master
No,
plan? I'm sorry.
did you give them a master plan?
Please,
besides just
please,
the-
excuse me, but only address the board, please.
I'm sorry. There is quite a bit of frontage on Wilson Hill.
100 feet.
And I think if there's 3 houses built on that driveway access, I think, but the rest of it, don't you need to give them the rest of it?
All right. Again,
I'm
Nelson,
sorry.
can
I'm
I
sorry.
ask you to just have a seat in the audience, please?
I think it would be a bad choice to build multiple houses there, and I want some assurance from the board there's only be one house there.
I don't know, I can't.
We
Can't make
can't
those
assure, that. You're almost telling Nelson what he can do with
No,
and
that's
without
what
his
Nelson
property.
wants to do, though. He says, one building lot, one house. His own words.
We have to go by what he's submitted to us. We can't double guess what Nelson is telling us, and we can't double guess of what's going to happen in the future.
And I don't honestly think you gave 3 houses on that lot anyway.
I'm talking about the total parcel. Total parcel. Those are my concerns to the board. Protect my utilities, protect the right-of-way on a paper road. I have no problem with one driveway. I told him that.
I can't, I mean, yeah, again, I would, I can't speak for what someone's gonna do to the land.
I guess we don't have a quorum tonight anyway, right?
A
Yes,
what?
we do.
We do have a quorum?
We do have a quorum.
With 2 voting members?
No, we
Is that
have
what I heard earlier?
four. We have 4 voting
Oh,
members.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman. I thought you said there were only 2 voting members tonight.
No, 4 voting
I
members.
misunderstood you. Okay. Well,
I mean, conceivably, somebody, if you wanna talk hypotheticals, somebody could buy that and they could stick an apartment complex in there. So, I mean,
You're killing me.
but, I mean, at the end of the day, who knows, whoever buys that, who knows what they're gonna do with it. But it is zoned for residential. More than likely, with the amount of square footage, it'll probably be 1 house, but I can't make any guarantees. I can't, and I wouldn't be held to it, neither would anybody on this board.
We're also not planning board members, so we can't even comment on this.
Yeah.
listen, I pray it's only 1 house lot, one building.
Well,
Which would be
It's a
fine.
beautiful area, I hope. It is only one building.
Whatever what we vote is going to be voted on what Nelson submitted to us, and that's it. Nothing from the past and nothing that might happen in the future.
I thank the board for their time.
Thank you.
I trust they'll make the best decision.
Is there any other member from the public that would like to speak for or against this petition? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Is there any comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman, may I-
Just a moment.
okay.
Go ahead, Lenny.
If Mr. Disco so chose to also apply for a variance or special exception for the driveway with the 100 feet of frontage on Wilson Hill Road, with the lay of that road and that being on the outside of the curve, there's no question about line of sight. So if the driveway issue is a big deal, there's another option. But that, of course, is in his court.
And Nelson, you had something you wanted to add before I call for a vote?
Well, yes, I just didn't understand Mr. Worcester's comment, but I just wanted to say that all we're applying for tonight is this single-family lot on, and anything else is speculation as what could happen with other owners and subsequently, and that applies to land all over town. So you really, I think Mr. Dwyer was correct in his assessment of the applicability of those remarks to this particular application. Thank you.
That and hypothetically, we might not be the zoning board at the time that decision's even made.
That's right.
All right, are we all set for motion? Could I hear a motion?
I motion that we grant Nelson our Disco Family Trust petition. Now, should we split this up as 2 variances?
For what reason?
For one for the 100,000 square foot, and then one for the 250 square foot frontage? Because technically it's 2 separate items. Okay,
That's all.
well, we can do it as one. So grant variance under section 3.02 of the zoning ordinance to permit the construction of a single-family home on a lot with 84,927 square feet, whereas 100,000 square feet is required, and 100 feet of frontage where 250 feet is required. The parcel is located at 38 Wilson Hill Road in the R1 Residential and Aquifer Conservation Districts, Tax Map 4B, Lot 095, Case 2015-8.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone against? 400, or 401. Lynn recused herself. Okay.
You all set?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you
well,
very
yeah.
much. Thank you.
All right, does anyone have any items of discussion?
I actually had a question. Lynn, you said that you're on the planning board? Are you a full member of the planning board? Okay. I'd asked if that was possible in an earlier meeting, and I was told that was not possible, so I just wasn't sure.
It's perfectly allowed per state law.
Oh, it is?
State law actually states that it is.
But there's only
Allowed.
one person, just in case you
So
have
you
an
you
idea.
can't come join the planning
Someone-
board.
It's
Well,
only
no,
one
I'd asked
person.
about it before with the
But
thought
what I'm
of that.
saying is one person can be common between the two boards, and state law specifically allows for that.
Okay. Wish I knew that before. Actually, yeah. But here too, right? Aren't there selectmen that are also on the board?
No, the selectmen's well, councilors representatives, but they're not members per se.
Oh.
They represent from the councilors.
Thank you.
Welcome. Anything further? You all set on that, Rich?
I hold no grudge. I was just saying, I wish I knew that before. That being said, I wouldn't have the time commitment anyway, so.
All right, on to the approval of minutes, and before we go any further, hi, Zina.
Move to approve the minutes of January 28, 2015.
And I have one correction, the time start of the meeting. Any further corrections, comments?
Mine says 7 o'clock.
It probably does now. All right, so we have no further corrections? All in favor to accept the minutes of the zoning board minutes of Wednesday, January 28th, 2015? Aye. Aye.
All of the above.
500.
Abstain. I wasn't
Oh.
here.
401. Go ahead, Patrick. Huh? All right, Rich?
Motion to adjourn?
All in favor?
You must be really efficient.
Is there a second?
We normally
If there's no second, we can't leave. We have to stay here all night until someone seconds. Second. Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
I am gonna.
First, there's the same condition of approval of the lot line adjustment by the planning board. Second is making sure that we have a copy of the DES shoreline permit prior to the filing for the building, prior to the issuance of the building permit. And lastly, review by the Conservation Commission and satisfaction of any comments